Hi, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is true love. I was just doing some chores and I was thinking about love and the way two-leggeds engage on the topic of love, and the way two-leggeds have engaged with me specifically, also on the topic of love. And I've experienced, and perhaps you can relate to this, a lot of wanting to correct my character or wanting to change my character, wanting to alter my character. I've said before, I'll say again, I'm not a video game character. I am Heather Mackey. You either come into relationship with me wanting to love me and wanting to share your love with me, or you come into relationship looking for some idea you have of what love should look like. And the latter seems to be a more common normative for the way we hold relationship in this realm. I in my youth, I think there are ways in which it would be like, if you could change this alcoholism, or if you could change this emotional abuse pattern you have going on, that'd be really helpful. If you didn't have the narcissism component, we can maybe get along better. But what I've learned over time is that I can love someone irrespective of what challenge, trial, tribulation they have going on. That's universally true. That's called unconditional love. That is universal love, and that is true love. I also am aware that that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone needs to be my lover or my friend or in the garden of my life, is the way I typically say that. So it's difficult for my soul, because as a soul, I know it's all God, it's all spirit, it's all connected, it's all one. It's always been one. And it is experiencing this oneness itself through the concept of space-time delusion, through the concept of separation, that something that is so vast might know what it is. So in that vein, I've always felt like all of life is for me. And that's still true. It's just that not necessarily all of life needs to be in my garden. I don't want people in the garden of my life that are going to trample the garden I'm trying to build, the temple in my mind, the carapace of goodness and virtue that I'm working to build to be the paradigm of this lifetime that I live. I don't want you in the garden. If you're going to go pull out everything I'm trying to plant, you're welcome to be outside of the garden, and I can pray for you over there, and I can love you over there. What happens over time, and I think with aging, and for me, what I've been marinating on more and more as I age is, like, I do not on any level want to change a beloved. Now, I'm single now. I feel like that will shift for me in the coming year, because I've had a lot of visions. And I know whoever that person is, I do not seek to change them at all. I do not wish to change them. I do not want to change them. I'm not seeking somebody that, I hope I can change you and make you my idea of who you should be. I want to love them unconditionally, and I want to love them right where they are. And I want to understand that I have foibles, growth edge, ways in which I am evolving as an entity, and I want to give them the same freedom and the same permission. And one of the angles I want to talk about this that I see in relationship is we have this, it's almost like an unconscious idea that we want to be with someone like us. So I'll give you some examples. My friend reminded me of one example today. My friend is a beautiful poetic communicator, definitely a lover of language, a lover of words. Words of affirmation would be a love language for the soul. And they're in partnership with somebody that is much quieter, much more reserved, and they find that challenging. And so, and I appreciate that. What I would say about that is that somebody who loves words probably is often giving them to other people. And this soul definitely does that and gives a lot of poetic and very beautiful statements to others. And the question there for me is that soul giving that same flowetry, that same poetry, those same words of love and affirmation to the self? I'd venture to guess no, because, when our cup is full of our own verbal affirmation, we're not as eager to get it outside of ourselves. I recently was blessed with making a new friend that understands human design well. And if human design interests you, I know someone that's very adept at that. Reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with her. She's a phenomenal human. She's like the rays of the sun. But I had never heard of human design. And my particular human design is manifesting generator, freak to genius, Phoenix, Southern Phoenix, I don't know. But whatever, some aspect of those qualities in my personality what it means is that I have a tendency to absorb my environment. And I've done this. I've had previous relationships. Oh, you're a rock climber? Okay, I'm going to be a rock climber. Oh, you're like, I just absorb whatever they are. Oh, are you doing that? I'm doing that. And a lot of people will see that as biting. Like, you're biting my style. You're biting my... First of all, it's all God's style. So, okay, calm down, ego. You want to claim everything. Everybody wants to claim, like, I'm the individual creator. It's like, okay. Did you own it? Okay, I didn't know you owned rock climbing. I guess you were the first human to discover that. That's interesting. But you know, it's like, for me, the way I expand is I explore. I feel like an octopus sometimes. I explore my environment and leave in an inky cloak if I don't like the environment, and, you know, remain and explore and go into and out of jars that, you know, are a new curiosity in my life. And I discern from my exploration of my world what I want in my world and what kind of garden I'm trying to cultivate in my mind, in my heart, in my body, in my soul, in my temple. So, but so someone else, and I've had this experience in relationship, they can see me as a biter or like, get your own, whatever. They could find that to be offensive. I've had that experience. And it's like, okay, you know, that's cool. Like, I appreciate your ownership of your particular matrix. I find it odd that you feel that A, you own it, and B, if you owned it, that you can't share it, and that others shouldn't also enjoy what you enjoy. And to each their own. I don't want to fix that. I don't want to fix that in you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that way, beautiful. I love the diversity. I'm glad you're a daisy and I'm a rose. Love it so much. Let's be different. I'm into this. This is the dynamic I'm wanting to bear witness to today regarding true love. True love, agape, unconditional love, true love is available. It's available. And the way we be that, the way we step into that, the largest and first step up that mountain, I would say, is acceptance of diversity. And the second step in that is discerning what diversity you seek, you know? In order to be unconditionally loving, the first thing you need to do is take anything that you're judging right now, any way of being, whether it be political, music-based, philosophy-based, gender-based, sexuality-based, I don't know, politicking, sports, I don't know. People judge on all kinds of topics. Driving, and any judgment that you're having, can you find a way to understand that diversity that you don't understand gives your particular matrix distinction? For example, if you're liberal and you think the entire world needs to be liberal, I tell you now, if the entire world was liberal, being liberal wouldn't mean anything. So if you wanted to experience service as a soul and there was nothing to serve because everyone's just doing great, then the divinity within would not have the opportunity to experience that component of diversity in the matrix. So first, one of the things I cultivate in myself, and I'm not saying I'm saying it this, unconditional love is an aim, divine love is an aim. There are times when I really knock it out of the park, and daily there are ways in which I really consider, like, that was not my best work right there. You know what I mean? Like, well, I hope they forgive me, because I don't have to try to forgive myself for that one. I did not get it with that one. And one of the ways I bring in this cultivation of agape, of unconditional love, of true love, is to allow for diversity. If somebody says something that is completely divergent from my personality, instead of jumping to needing to correct, or you're wrong, or needing to educate, as if I am the superior essence of what a human should be, I just go, wow, like a child with wonder and awe. I go, isn't that, man, spirit can express in a lot of ways. Takes all kinds to make a world. Say that all the time. Ooh, takes all kinds to make a world. That's really interesting. That's a very different belief system. Not the one I hold, but I appreciate diversity. You know what I mean? These are the ways that I work in my languaging and in my consciousness and in my awareness to understand not everybody has to be like me. And I'm not the boss of the living tree. And I'm not the boss of karma and what people came to learn and how, you know, I'm not the boss of that. So that's interesting. There's another component in this, aside from acceptance, of understanding when to step away from that which doesn't serve. One deeply, truly loving act you can offer a beloved, a friend, is, whatever it is, whatever relationship it is, a family member. There are some relationships, and I feel like all two-leggeds will have this learning in this life. There are some two-leggeds that the unconditional learning component is, in order for me to love myself, I need to have distance with you. Cool. I've certain people that are dealing with extreme addiction, and my engagement with them causes my consciousness to go in the downward spiral that it is in, and I'm not in this extreme addiction. I have learned I have to get away from this person that's dealing with extreme addiction. I can pray for them from a distance, but I'm somebody who's dealt with chronic depression. I can't go into your black hole of a world in which you refuse to care for your temple, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, etheric, and I'm not your savior. And if you're going to jump into a black hole, I'm not going to jump with you. I have to go, let me pray for you while you do that. That's a very interesting choice. Less diversity. So I think another component of this is giving the self permission and understanding that true love always includes love of the self. And if someone is being physically, mentally, emotionally abusive to you, it is not loving the self to say, to be passive about that or not take action to retreat from untoward behavior that doesn't serve your self-love, self-care, self-respect. Again, not an easy topic, because there's a lot of brain and mind programming and neuropeptide alteration that occurs in the brain when you're with somebody that is that way. And there is a duty, if we want to practice true love, unconditional love, to love the self. How do we love the self? How do I love myself? Well, first of all, we could consider, what is so unlovable about us? Is it because we're learning, because we're evolving, that we're such garbage humans? I'm so unlovable because I have to learn on a wide variety of topics because I'm not an ascended master yet. Okay. Well, all of life is actually created. You're every ascended master. You're every yogi that's ever lived. You're every serial killer that's ever lived. And until we can really, truly take responsibility for the self without judgment, my goal isn't to just take responsibility for Heather and her karma and the way Heather Feather fails herself based on her expectations of being unconditional love in the world, being agape, being divine love in every interaction, understanding that every interaction I have is with God. And me going, how am I going to interact with God right now? Because this particular aspect of God is really challenging me, And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what is needed here. Do I need to love myself by walking away, or do I need to love them in a different way than what I'm doing right now because they're triggering my ego? There is this component in loving the self of recognizing the magnitude and the preciousness of your attention. Does your attention belong on that topic? I have witnessed and I have experienced, and you may find this to be true, that my life is an exact reflection of where I've placed my attention. So, maybe it's my human design because I'm a phoenix, but I've witnessed a ton of death. And my life is full of change. Ooh, my life loves to change. Oh, we're going to change. Oh, we're going to change again. Oh, we're going to change again? Okay, let me get on program. And the Cancer in my chart is not a huge fan of that. My Cancer moon is like, can we cut this out, please? But, Alma Scorpio is into this. Like, yes, let's transmute, let's transform. So one of the ways we can really love ourselves is checking in. And in order to be true love, in order to be unconditional love, we can mind our own part in the paradigm in addition to others. How are you loving yourself this day? Are you being truly loving? You can subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. Blessed be.